Yo.
Like when Diddy fucked Carl Winslow, we was at a party, and you know we just chilling and shit like that, and
All right. Got a bit of a wedgie here, playing a little bit of pocket pool. You know what I'm saying? Wedgies and pocket pools, what's going on around these parts, Mike? We definitely just. Did that come out my pocket? What was that? There was something on my hand just now. All right, okay.
My turn. Listen, plenty of reasons to hit the gym that aren't archaic beauty standards. Let's get to it. You can outrun the cops. Outlive your enemies. More stamina for sex. Actually, sometimes sleep better at night. Crush a dude's skull. Open fruit when you don't have a knife. Squeeze your morning juice. Fight off dangerous animals. Because ladies, listen, no one's coming to save you.
Tough. Buddy got nerfed right before a battle for his life. Found out he got to fight the old school way with just the hands. Talk about a diss him.
Fuck this whole world up just now.
Boy, that's tough. Buddy got nerfed.
Hello? Cuzzo.
Hey, I apologize.
Hey man, I'm live on YouTube right now. You might not want to have a conversation right now, but let me call you back after I get off the YouTube channel.
We gotta keep it. PS5 gotta keep it cordial, baby.
Yeah, man. keep it
Copacetic.
copacetic, dog, cause we live on TV.
Don't wanna rock the boat?
No.
You said what?
No. So let me call you back when I get out the studio.
Call me back.
Hey, you should tune into my YouTube channel and come chill with me, man. Turn on my YouTube channel.
I ain't getting the. I mean, you only get what?
Oh, you don't want to turn on? You don't want to turn on my YouTube channel and watch my live stream?
I probably could. Let me send me the link.
What you mean, send you the link? It's my name, nigga. You know what my name is? Go to YouTube and type in my name.
T-Pen. Boss.
Okay.
That's far.
Bye, boy. This motherfucker stupid. But that my goddamn cousin. You talking about send me the link? Send me the link. It's my name. Nigga, you know what my name is? Everybody know what my name is. And Prince, boy. The motherfucker Prince, son. Yo, Carlsbad, California. My homie just sent me a link. Yo, what the fuck is this? Hey, yo, what the fuck is that? All right, me and my girl tripping out here. Looking at these Instagram posts. Let me get some shit done. Yo, she sent me a meme. I sent her back a meme. I can't even get out the meme cycle fast enough before she sent me another meme, and then I sent her a meme, and then she commented on the last meme that I sent her, talking about how funny it was. Let me get off that shit, man. I got painting. I got painting and stuff I need to do. I need to go get my supplies, because apparently I did not bring my grinder up here. Well, I got this grinder. All right, well, but my other grinder is my favorite grinder, and I left my what-you-call-it down there, though. All right, I got some of this cheesecake. Yo, what's good, bro? We got some New York City cheesecake. Yeah, what the fuck? Would you like some of this? Yes, please. Give it to me in handfuls. Let me get a handful of that shit, man. Fuck, what you mean? Some of this New York. ain't this what ain't that's what Puffy made them nigga walk across the bridge for? Yo, Puff made him walk across the bridge for this shit. Give me some of that cheesecake, man. I hate how these bags are. There we go. Pull out too much. I said give it to me by the handful, but I was lying. I was definitely lying. I can't smoke this shit by the handful. Let's see what we got going on here. See what we got going on here. See what we got. Let's see what we got and see what we got going on here. Here. I wonder if Instagram is gonna kick me off for listening to this next video, because I gotta listen to this shit. It's not music, but Instagram act like they don't want you to listen to nothing that's not yours. And then I'd be like, screw you, Instagram. All right, we almost good to go. Oh, that must have already been like some stuff in here, cause geez, that seems like a lot. Seems like a bit much there, buddy. Seems like a bit much. Maybe I won't have to put anything in here for a minute. Yo, it was good. This has the worst screen in it ever. It's like the tiniest mesh. Alright. Okay, here we go.
How we do stuff around here. Actually, my department uses Monday.
Posted their farewell to HD Atlas video. People were upset. It had 671,000 views in one day. But fear not, the all-new Atlas is here. Here it is lying so unassumingly on the ground. But wait, what's this? That is kind of freaky, I gotta say. What if it comes up to you and goes, I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle? I would just hand it over. Goodbye, Atlas. Dr. Jim Fan reacts, it took my brain a while to parse what's going on in this video. We are so obsessed with human-level robotics that we forget it's just an artificial ceiling. Why don't we make a new species superhuman from day one? Boston Dynamics has once again reinvented itself. Gradually, then suddenly. Interesting thing here is that Dr. Jim Fan had this prediction just a few days ago, saying humanoid robots will exceed the supply of iPhones in the next decade. Gradually.
Yo, what the fuck? Did nobody? Yo. That shit just blew me. All right. All right, I just had to share that real quick because the video just blew my mind and it's only 40 seconds long. All right.
Then suddenly it feels like we are hitting a certain inflection point. Amazon now has something like 750,000 robots compared to 1.5 million human warehouse workers. The number of robots are growing, and that ratio will slowly begin to flip. So here's the founder of Khosla Ventures, a well-known tech investor. And here are some of his predictions for what's going to happen if we pursue some of this technology. He's saying labor will be near free. We will have 1 billion bipedal and other robots freeing humans from the servitude of undesirable jobs. And certainly looking across the board at the various different robots that are emerging from these companies, including Boston Dynamics, also the incredible stuff that Google DeepMind is doing, Tesla's robot, and even the OpenAI-backed robot, the Figure One, all of them are seemingly having this rapid progress, this rapid improvement. And for Boston Dynamics, this is
No. Did I power that shit down or did it fucking lose all power? I can't remember.
It's the retirement of the hydraulic Atlas and unveiled what comes next, the fully electric Atlas robot designed for real-world applications. And it's building on their commitment to delivering the most capable, useful mobile robots. They're solving some of the toughest challenges in the industry today. And it looks like they're partnering with Hyundai. In addition to investing in us, Hyundai team is building the next generation of automotive manufacturing capabilities and will serve as a perfect testing ground for the new Atlas applications. In the months and years ahead, we're excited to show what the world's most dynamic humanoid robot can really do in the lab, in the factory, and in our lives.
AI tool will take your idea and create a complete book, complete with design, images, layout, everything, including the content, literally in a few minutes. Watch this. So I'm using Designer, which will import content from your blog, from a Google Doc or a Word doc, or even a YouTube, depending on the plan you choose. For now, I'm going to use WordGenie, the AI feature. So all I need to do is give it an idea and then click on Next. And then just tell WordGenie.
So here's what I'm really interested in. They're saying, and we are not just delivering industry-leading hardware. Some of our most exciting progress over the past year, over the last couple of years, have been in software. In addition to our decades of expertise in simulation and model predictive control, we have equipped our robots with new AI and machine learning tools like reinforcement learning and computer vision to ensure that they can operate and adapt efficiently to complex real-world scenarios. So I don't know as much about how Boston Dynamics builds their robots, in part because I don't know if they necessarily publish a lot of this information in the same way that, for example, the Google DeepMind team does. A lot of the other companies, the ones that are backed by OpenAI, Microsoft, as well as Google DeepMind team, it seems like they're integrating large language models, so things like ChatGPT, into a lot of the robots. So this is the RT2 from Google DeepMind, and they're talking about a novel, a new vision language action model. So the vision language is similar to, something like GPT-4 with vision or Grok 2 with vision, and the action model kind of translates the reasoning that the vision language model does into movements of the claw, the hand, and where the robot positions itself. So here's adapting VLMs for robotic control. So these vision language models, we're adapting those for robotic control, right? So they're using kind of this movement model by representing actions as tokens in the model's output, right? So similar how you ask ChatGPT to output a sentence, this outputs a positional change and a rotational change of the gripper, for example. With Boston Dynamics, if I understand correctly, and again, I don't know as much about them, but it sounds like they're doing a different approach. Here they're saying this is what's next for them. While a hybrid control strategy that leverages both a model predictive controller and a learned policy is proving effective at expanding and robustifying robotic capabilities. Robustifying is a good word, I must say. It largely imposes the limitations of the modeling on the full control system. To unlock totally new capabilities or be tolerant in scenarios that excessively violate the assumptions of the models, we are actively exploring and testing totally different architectures. And it looks like they're working with NVIDIA, doing more simulations where robots can be trained. This GPU accelerated spot simulation environment based on the NVIDIA Isaac Lab. So this is what we've been talking about quite a bit in this channel, training these robots in simulation. In this TechCrunch article, Boston Dynamics CEO discusses the company's commercial humanoid ambitions. And interestingly, they talk a little bit about the kind of the design elements that went into this robot. Internally, the most contentious aspect of the design may well be the head, which, yes, certainly this is somewhat different from the other ones that we've seen. It is close to the Unitree H1, the first general-purpose humanoid robot, so we've seen it running around the UCSD, the San Diego campus, and that was very interesting to watch. So it's kind of got a simpler head shape in that it's rounder, but this one to me looks more like one of those mirrors that are like the magnifying mirrors that you use to pop pimples. This kind of reminds me of that with the extra lighting around. I didn't realize that it was literally the next sentence in this article. The big round display has shades of a cosmetic mirror. Yes, it's a better name for it than what I called it. It was one of the design elements we fretted over quite a bit. Says the CEO, everybody else had a sort of a humanoid shape. I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be friendly and open, which certainly, yeah, I gotta say, this looks pretty friendly, like non-threatening. It moves like an alien, but the head shape makes it appear friendly. It provides a palette for a display. Of course, there are sensors buried in there, but also the shape is really intended to indicate some friendliness. That will be important for interacting with these things in the future. So it's like Boston Dynamics got acquired by Hyundai for nearly $1 billion. That sort of woke everybody up like, whoa, there's an exit path. And of course, we have a lot more competition. We have Tesla, Figure Robots, 1X, we covered those. Apptronik, we haven't covered in this channel. That's apparently yet another contender in the space. Looks like Amazon began testing Agility's Digit robots, and now Apptronik is getting in on the action courtesy of a partnership with Mercedes-Benz. I do recall hearing about the Mercedes-Benz robots. I guess the company behind that is Apptronik. And the Figure robot is, of course, the one that we've recently seen talking and responding to voice commands, picking up an apple. Microsoft OpenAI helped fund that, and it sounds like OpenAI is also providing their AI technology for the robot. And this TechCrunch article continues, general intelligence. One thing you can definitely say about Elon Musk is the guy makes big promises. Yes, he does make a lot of promises. He has a company, Starlink, that covers the entire Earth in satellites. He's building a literal starship. He's dominating the electronic vehicle sales, with no one else being even close. He recently announced his Grok 1.5 artificial intelligence vision. We covered this. I would say it is on par with GPT-4 vision and all the other big models like Claude 3 Opus, Gemini Pro 1.5. And it does look like it's much better in certain specific ways. We'll dive deep more into that once we have the actual model, but the physical understanding of the world does seem much better with Grok. And the organic traffic on Twitter is spiking after the Elon Musk takeover. So you can also definitely say those things about Elon Musk. He makes big promises and then he executes. But the robotics industry has went through quite a bit of changes. Here are all the Boston Dynamic robots, the last 40 years of development. 1986, 1988. I guess they were doing backflips or forward flips even back then. That's interesting. But this is how long it took us to get to this point. This one looks like a little kid walking. And this is 2009. Notice they're all still connected with cables to a power source. 2015, still cabled up. It looks like this is the first one where I don't see there's no obvious cable that's connecting it to something. 2016, 2017, it's able to do backflips, jump over obstacles, front roll, ninja roll, ballet move. And this is 2020. And as we're getting into the 2020s, and now 40 years later, we have this superhuman movement, not even very humanoid movement, no cables. And it's now just one of many, many capable robots that we're going to be seeing. And let me know what you think. I, for one, am very excited about this. My name is Wes Roth, and thank you for watching.
Cascade Platinum Plus. It removes up to 100% of food residue, even in older dishwashers.
Grok AI is making huge progress. They just previewed Grok Vision, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this was just from a couple days ago. This is Grok 1.5 Vision Preview. That means Grok, G-R-O-K. This is the AI by Elon Musk and team. Now has vision. It can read images and is considered multimodal. So let's talk about it. So in addition to its strong text capabilities, Grok can now process a wide variety of visual information, including documents, diagrams, charts, screenshots, and photographs. The rate at which Grok is releasing new awesome features is really impressive. The fact that they only started Grok, 6-9 months ago, compared to OpenAI, who's been working on this for years, is really mind-blowing. So Grok 1.5v will be available soon to our early testers and existing Grok users. And you know when it's released, I'm going to do a review on it because I'm very, very excited for another model. And I'm hoping this one will be open weights and open source as well, which just a couple months ago, Elon made Grok completely open source open weights. And I'm going to be more clear on the difference between open source and open weights going forward. So Grok 1.5v is competitive with existing frontier multimodal models in a number of domains: multidisciplinary reasoning, understanding documents, science diagrams, charts, screenshots, and photographs. We are particularly excited about Grok's capabilities in understanding our physical world, and that is going to be huge if true. Grok outperforms its peers in our new real-world QA benchmark, which I've not heard of yet, so I'm excited to check out what that means, which is measured in real-world spatial understanding. So this might be the prelude to a Sora competitor from the XAI team. For all datasets below, we evaluate Grok in a zero-shot setting without chain of thought prompting. So that is very impressive. So let's look. We have Grok 1.5v, GPT-4v, Claude 3 Sonnet, Claude 3 Opus, and Gemini Pro 1.5. These are the top of the line, cutting-edge, closed source models across the board, all four of these, except Grok is open source, open weight. So for the MMMU, multidiscipline, it scores a 53.6 as compared to a 56.8 for GPT-4. So certainly not as good. And Claude 3 Opus, right here, takes the crown with 59.4%. And from what I've seen from all my testing, Claude 3 Opus is definitely the best model I've ever used to date. The only drawback from Claude 3 Opus is that it is slow compared to GPT-4 and certainly compared to Grok GROQ and basically every other model. It's definitely a little bit slower, but the output is usually better. We have Math Vista, so that is just pure math, which Grok takes the crown there at 52.8%. And the next one in line is Gemini 1.5 Pro. We have AI2D. So I have not heard of this either, but I think this is for understanding diagrams. And look at that, 88.3. Claude 3 Sonnet, interestingly enough, got the highest score of 88.7. We have text reading, we have chart QA, doc VQA, real world QA, and that is where Grok 1.5v really excels. And Gemini Pro 1.5 gets a 67.5%, so close to Grok 1.5v. So let's take a look at it interpreting images and charts and other things right now.
They say it took 6 days to make the Earth. How did they know it was 6? How can you even define a day before you knew what a day was? Nobody understands that in the creation of man, time had to be broken. And nobody knows if God fixed that break, or if he wanted to see what we do with that particular.
All right, so we have 7 examples we're going to go through. The first is writing code from a diagram. On the left side, we have a whiteboard where basically a workflow is written out in handwriting, right? Just a simple handwritten diagram that shows exactly the workflow of an app. The user says, can you translate this into Python code? So let's take a look at what it actually says. Start target equals random, read the guess. If the target is the guess, then it's true and you print U1. If it's false, it says wrong guess, try again. So it's basically a number guessing app that it is trying to build from this diagram. So it says, certainly, the flowchart you've provided describes a simple guessing game where the computer generates a random number and the user has to guess it. Here's the Python code that represents it. And here's the Python code right here. In fact, let's give it a try. So I'm going to copy the code. I'm in Visual Studio Code now. I'm going to play. And let's see, guess a number between 1 and 10. I'll say 2. Wrong number, guess again. Let's say 3. Wrong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You won. Okay, it works perfectly. This is very, very impressive. All you need to do is give it a logic diagram and it will write the code for you. So very, very cool. Let's look at the next example. Next, calculating calories. So this is really cool. So you take a picture of the side of a snack box, you get the nutrition facts, and it says how many calories are there in 5 slices of this. So if one serving is 3 slices, which it says right here, serving size 3 slices, and contains 60 calories, then 5 slices would contain approximately 100 calories. This is calculated by first determining the calories. Okay, then it tells you how. Really impressive. Now, if you remember back to when GPT-4 with Vision was first released, everyone was blown away. You give it a picture of anything, it'll tell you what's in it. It can do calculations based on what's in it. It can describe what's in it. So very, very impressive. And now we're essentially seeing that again with Grok 1.5V. And this vision capability is going to be really meaningful when we have more and more AI devices in our life. The fact that you'll be able to point it at anything and ask questions about it and interact with it is really compelling. Let's look at the next example. So from a drawing to a bedtime story. So we have a crude drawing of a person standing on top of what looks like maybe a rock. We have a boat on water. Very, very crude. Oh, my son drew this. Sorry, it is crude. Can you tell a short bedtime story based on his drawing? And then Grok 1.5V understands what's in it and then comes up with a story based on it. So once upon a time in a land of adventure and wonder, there's a brave little boy named Timmy. Timmy lived in a cozy little house with his family. Okay, one day decided to go on an adventure, packed up everything. The river was so enchanting, he decided to build a small paper boat. So that's the boat. And so on and so forth, all the way through the end of the story. So very, very good. I mean, just from a very simple drawing on the back of a piece of paper, Grok came up with an entire bedtime story. So very, very cool. Next, explaining a meme. This is very impressive to me. So the user provides a meme. Startups, big companies. So what we're seeing here is a startup, everybody is involved. Everybody's getting their hands dirty. Everybody's doing work at the same time. Big companies, now we have one person doing all the work and everybody else looking and managing. That's really a big difference between startups and big companies. You have a lot of managerial layer there. So that is what the meme is. And the fact that Grok can actually understand the humor behind it, understand the concepts, just from the picture, blows my mind. So the user says, I don't get it, please explain. The image is a humorous comparison between startups and big companies. So that's obvious. On the left side, labeled startups, there is a group of people working together to dig a hole. They are all actively participating, and the hole is already quite deep. On the right side, labeled big companies, there's a group of people standing around the hole. However, unlike the startup side, only one person is actually digging the hole while the others are watching or engaged in other activities. The humor in this image comes from the exaggeration of differences between startups and big companies. In startups, there is often a sense of urgency and everyone is expected to contribute directly to the task at hand. In contrast, big companies are often depicted as having more bureaucracy and less direct involvement from all team members in every project. Really impressive. It understood the meme. It understood the differences between the startups and the big companies and why this analogy, right? It's not actually people in an office working. These are people digging a hole, is really talking about the difference between startups and big companies. This may be the most impressive example in my mind.
First off, if you haven't made money with AI yet, don't worry. AI is the biggest wealth building opportunity in U.S. history. I'm James Altucher, if you don't already know me. Nobody ever believes my predictions when I first make them until they come true. Like in 2007, I went on CNBC. Facebook was being valued at $1 billion.
Let's look at the next one. Converting a table to CSV. So what's interesting is they're passing in a table that's an image. So basically they have a CSV or they have an Excel file. They take a screenshot of it, drop it in and say, convert this to a CSV, and there it is perfectly. This is very, very cool as well. Next, help with rotten wood on a deck. So we have a picture of a problem. We have rotten wood, looks like a screw in there that looks to be about to fall out. These holes are appearing around the screws in my deck. Is it rotten? Should I get my boards replaced? So Grok says it appears that the wood on your deck has started to rot. This is indicated by the presence of holes around the screws, which is a common sign of wood decay. So Grok is using its knowledge about how wood rots and how screws within rotting wood behave to understand the image and then give suggestions. So to ensure the safety and longevity of your deck, it is recommended to have the affected boards replaced. So this is a really great example as well, a combination of understanding what's in the image and then using its existing knowledge to merge those two things together and give a suggestion. Last example, and you know this is always my favorite, coding examples. Solve a coding problem. Now, here's the interesting thing. I think this example is literally just a screenshot. They did not copy paste code. They simply took a screenshot of this coding problem. Given an integer array nums, return all the triplets, so on and so forth. Here's an example. So a simple screenshot of this coding problem was all it took, and then could you write Python code that solves this? And it does. So it has to not only understand what is going on in the image, and this isn't a picture, it's a simple screenshot of text. It has to read all the text, understand the problem, and then write a solution to the problem. And apparently it does that. I don't have an easy way to test it myself without this problem, but this code looks fine. So I'm going to assume that they're using it as an example. It does work. So very, very cool. And it has really great real-world understanding, as we've already seen with multiple examples. In order to develop useful real-world AI assistance, it's crucial to advance a model's understanding of the physical world. Towards that goal, we introduce a new benchmark, Real-World QA. So I want to learn more about this. I don't know much about it right now. This benchmark is designed to evaluate basic real-world spatial understanding capabilities of multimodal models. Now, here is something that I'm thinking. Tesla has an insane amount of real-world data. And I wouldn't be surprised if xAI was using Tesla's data to help inform its real-world understanding. I mean, look at 2 of the 4 of these images are driving examples, or basically real-world street-level examples. So I really think that because of X, Twitter, all of the textual data on Twitter, all of the real-world spatial data through Tesla, X.AI has an enormous amount of highly valuable data that it can use to train its models, and that might be the differentiator necessary to actually train models that are better than everything else out there. So I think there is a possibility that xAI becomes really good, best in the pack, really soon. So here we see a bunch of different objects, and we say, and somebody asks, which object is the larger, the pizza cutter or the scissors? So look at this. The scissors are under this other device right there. The pizza cutter is right there. And we ask, A, the pizza cutter is larger, the scissors is larger, and they are about the same size, and it was C, they are about the same size. And it's really cool because the scissors are covered partially. So it really has to understand where the scissors are, compare it to the pizza cutter, the fact that the pizza cutter is closer in the image, just barely, but it is, and understand that, yeah, they look about the same size. Here, we have another one. Where can we go from the current lane? Now, if this isn't Tesla's data, right here, I would be very surprised. So, where can we go from the current lane? Left turn, go straight, turn left, and go straight, and turn right. So, we see the sign right here that says left lane must turn left. And that is what it says. So it sees what lane it's in, the left lane, and then it also is able to read the sign and say, yeah, you only can turn left from there. Next, this one is extremely impressive. Given this front camera view from our sedan, do we have enough space to drive around the gray car in front of us? A, yes, B, no. And the answer is yes, there is plenty of room right there. So it's not only understanding what's in the image, but it's also understanding distances, and has pretty incredible spatial awareness to be able to tell what's going on in this 2D image and translate that into potentially a 3D map that it tells you that, yeah, you can fit there. Again, I'm thinking full self-driving with Tesla. This is exactly what it's capable of. So I'm really impressed that it's able to do that with this large language model. Next, we have a dinosaur and a phone with a compass on it. Given the picture, in which cardinal direction is the dinosaur facing? North, south, east, or west? So we have this picture. We can tell where north is from this compass right there. The compass is currently facing southwest. So this dinosaur must be facing east. and that is correct. So these examples are incredibly impressive. So the initial release of Real World QA consists of over 700 images with a question and easily verifiable answer for each image. And we can find that data set right here if we wanted to test it against other models. So that's it. I mean, this is incredibly impressive. I can't wait to try it out myself. And I'm very hopeful that this is going to be open source, open weight, just like Grok is right now. If you liked this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
These shampoos are scientifically crafted to help guys achieve thick and healthy looking hair.
One of the big trends this year is going to be wearable AI tech. And already some of the stuff is hitting the market and it's getting mixed reactions, shall we say. We've heard about the Rabbit R1 device. We've heard about the Humane AI pin that didn't receive the warmest reception. But here's one that might be interesting. This is the Limitless pendant. Here's the quick 5-second pitch.
I've got something really exciting to show you. Allow me to introduce you to the Limitless pendant. Today we're introducing Limitless. It is a web app, a Mac.
Use that as input. There's also a touchpad and a projector inside with this super new style of gesture control with the projection on your hand. It costs $700 plus a $24 a month subscription plan for the data that comes with it and all the services and all the online storage. But yeah, $700 plus a subscription. It's already a fun start. But so one of the big things off the top is this does not pair to your smartphone at all. This is its own standalone device with its own internet connection, with its own phone number. And so this little AI assistant just goes everywhere with you. It's always connected. And you can choose how much or how little to use it alongside your smartphone. So, on its face, maybe that's kind of a cool idea, at least. Like, the idea is you talk to it like a person. It answers questions. It gives you historical facts or personalized recommendations or helps you out with things like brainstorming or remembering things. It can make phone calls and send text messages. A ton of stuff. The unfortunate reality, though, is this thing is too much of a pain to use to actually want to do most of that stuff alongside your phone, but we'll get there. Alright, let me actually start with the hardware. This little thing, the build of this thing is actually impressive. Like, genuinely, I think if you're looking for a reason to feel like you're not getting ripped off, the hardware packaging actually kind of accomplishes that. Like, this pin is solid. It's aluminum, it's dense feeling. There's 3 colors actually. There's all matte black, which is the cheapest one, or for $100 more, you can get white or this black and silver one that I'm using. And then there's a lot of sensors packed up there. There's a camera, there's microphones, there's lights, there's a tiny class 2 laser projector. So this whole thing is like really densely packed. And then the magnets also that connect everything are super strong. So the back of this pin is called a booster. It's another battery. So it's got its own internal battery, but then once you attach it to your clothes, it cleverly, through your clothes, magnetizes there, makes a nice sound when you do, and that's how you get it attached. So you get 2 of these boosters, and since there's the internal battery, you can literally hot swap between them so the thing stays alive. Very clever. And then it also comes with this extremely well-made and also very, very reflective charging case. So you can pop it in there, or just your battery in there, keep it topped off. That charges via USB Type-C. This thing is nice. And it also comes with this like desktop charging puck where you can magnetize in the battery or the whole thing, the pin and the booster at the same time. So that is a lot of charging and battery related accessories, but they all come with it. And this pin, it's also got these lights up at the top here that light up anytime you're doing anything. And there's also a small pin light notification for when there's something waiting for you. So between the weight of the parts and the strength of the magnets, how it all slaps together, like you can tell that a lot of effort was put into the craftsmanship of this product, which I very much appreciate. It's the best part of the pin by a lot.
At Enterprise Mobility, our experts always see another road. Because when there's no limit to how far mobility can go, there's no limit to how far businesses can go.
want you to forget about the smartphone in your pocket for a second. Just for a minute, just pretend that doesn't exist. Ignore it, right? This little pin can do a lot of stuff and is very helpful. So again, think of this thing as an AI assistant that's like by your side all the time with you. So you can ask it things. It doesn't have a wake word. It only turns the mic on and listens when you touch it. So you can go, how tall is the Empire State Building? And then when you let go, it starts sending that query off to the crowd.
The Empire State Building is 1,454 feet tall to the tip.
Cloud, and it gets you an answer, which is great. And it also is multimodal, so that means it can look at the camera and see things and interact with the world around you. So look and tell me what you see. So it'll scan the room, use the cloud again. That little noise was it taking a little image, sending that image to the cloud, analyzing it, getting it back, then deciding what to tell me.
You are sitting in front of a camera and a laptop. The camera is on a tripod and pointed at you. The laptop is open and you are looking at it. There are 3 pictures of dogs on the wall behind you. There is a window to the left of the camera. There is a boom mic on the table in front of you. There is a red carpet on the floor.
Great. The camera can also take pictures or up to 15-second videos, which it auto-uploads while charging. It can also remember things you tell it to remember, and all these things will show up in the Humane Center. So it's like this online web portal for all things connected to the pin. There's no app, it's just a website. So there you can see a whole history of who you've called and texted and what you've listened to and what answers it gave to your most recent requests and all the things you told it to remember. It is pretty well-rounded. I think probably its best tech demo feature, though, is the translate back and forth. You got a 2-finger gesture. You can go, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Where's the library?
So it auto-detects the language, translates it to English, and the person who speaks back can translate back, as long as you hold down the pen and listen to them. Pretty cool. This is all voice stuff, though. So if at any point you're in a loud area or a very private area and you don't want to interact out loud with your voice, that's where this projector comes in. So it seems crazy, but you activate it like that, and then you just hold your finger out, your whole palm, and it becomes a projector screen for the laser projector built into the pin. So it takes a little practice, but eventually you get used to holding your hand up in just the right spot, and then the UI gets projected in this green 720p mini screen on your hand. So you basically use your hand, try to be as flat as possible, and then to interact with it, there are some movement gestures. So there's a time of flight sensor that keeps track of movement, and you move your hand around kind of like rolling a marble around in your hand to select something, then pinch to select. You can then make a fist to go back, and then you literally push forward to move deeper into a menu. So this is like a 3D UI you have to learn. This is obviously very brand new for people, but I think, to be fair, it is pretty intuitive. I think if you get a quick 60-second lesson, you kind of already have learned all the things you need. When you first connect the booster to the pin, you can unlock it, and unlocking it with my pin is like this move your hand through space to select the numbers thing. It's literally like moving back and forth through a Rolodex of real numbers. So it's one of those like borderline magic things where the first time you see it, you kind of just get it and it clicks, even if it is a little fidgety and a little bit inaccurate and kind of slow. But that gets us into the review. So unfortunately, this thing is bad at almost everything it does, basically all the time. Where do I even start? So I guess first of all, okay, it's supposed to just answer questions, right? It can kind of do that sometimes, but one, it's often slow because most of these requests go to the cloud and come back and there's just a long wait. And two, it's often wrong because AI still can hallucinate and there are still issues with it just not understanding correctly or just saying the wrong thing. And that's not even mentioning server timeouts if you have a poor internet connection, which happens to me all the time in this studio. So when they do most of the demos, like on their websites and in their videos, they'll ask a question and then they'll let go and keep talking to fill the silence. So it's not awkward as you wait for an answer and realize how long it is. But even on this fast studio Wi-Fi,
bro, you seen the new Boston Dynamics robot? Bro, I just saw that shit today for the first time. I had to share that shit on social media and stuff. Yo, it looks so wild, man. It looks crazy. It looks, it's hard to explain. You just gotta see it. Yo, Boston Dynamics got a new robot. And bruh, make me feel like I just want to live forever, because I can imagine like in the next 100 years, like what the fuck kind of technology people are gonna have. This shit is gonna be so crazy. We're right on the verge of the Jetsons, and I won't be around for it. Son of a bitch. Like, we're literally right on the verge of that shit. The next 50 years is gonna be wild as hell. Big Rob. Bro. Alright, man, you just gotta see it. It's only it's crazy, yo. Boston Dynamics dropped a 40-second video, bro. No words or nothing, but it's like a real full demonstration. It's like a quick ass mobility demonstration in 40 seconds. All right, so look close. Does it go by quick? But this shit got everybody talking. Ain't nothing to talk about. Tell you all about it. That's it. That's the whole thing right there, bro. That's the whole. One more time, cause I don't watch this shit 10 times already. Nope. You would be wrong, buddy. You know what? You know who bought Boston Dynamics? Motherfucking Honda. For some billions. Yo, Honda bought that shit. You think Honda really fucking with goddamn DARPA? I don't know now. I don't know. Is this just a commercial? Oh no, this is a video, Boston Dynamics video. Alright, I was like, damn, I just played that shit, now a commercial popping up. No, I played one Boston video and then the next one just came up behind it. But you know, we've known about Spot Minis out there in the public.
That is input. There's also a touchpad and a projector but everything that this pin does, a modern smartphone does. Cool achievement as it is, it's just not very readable. It's not particularly bright outdoors, and it gets dimmer the further from to the Empire State Building from here.
Finding directions. Use the voice command.
Like, it's way slower, and when you first connect the booster to the pin, you can unlock it just the right spot, and then the UI gets projected in this green 720p mini screen on your hand. So you basically use your hand, try to be as flat as possible, and then to interact with it,
military robot
gestures. So there's a time of flight sensor that keeps track of movement, and you move your hand around kind of like
that ain't appropriate at all.
Hand to select something, then pinch to select. You can then make a fist to.
No, you think they're gonna have that shit working at old folks' home, handing out their prescription medicines and serving their applesauce? No, sir. No, sir. You think that's gonna be your meter maid? I don't think so. Nah, I don't think that's gonna be a meter maid or a nursing aide or. Oh my God, Terminator is good. You know this is the year for the Terminator, right? Whatever year it was supposed to be in that movie, I think it was 1980 or something like that. It was in whatever year it was. But this is the year that the Terminator is supposed to be made. Nostradamus. This is the year of the Terminator, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now what we gonna do? Man, look. Am I nervous? Nah. I'm not nervous. Ain't even mean. I love robots. I can't get that one out of my head though, man. How that motherfucker just stood up with the legs backwards and just spun around like bitch. It didn't even turn around. It turned around without turning around. Oh my God, what the fuck? It turned around in sections. Turned his legs around, then it turned his head around, then it turned his torso around. Then that bitch started walking towards me. And then it turned around in sections the other way and then walked away. It got a big circle face. Like what the fuck, man? Is that this shit out of nightmares or fairy tales? I don't know. But I've been telling everybody for a long time, the robots are coming, man. I've been trying to tell people, bro. The robots are coming. Man, we got about 2 more generations left, if that. Like I say, the next 50 years, bro, a generation is 20, 25 years. You know what I'm saying? 2 more generations, these motherfuckers gonna be everywhere doing everything. Society is changing fast. We are living in the fucking future. The kids now, if you got young kids in your family in elementary school, they have to learn a different way and how to earn a different way and how to invest and what's in different sets of skills they're gonna need to learn. Cause shit changing fast, bro. Faster than the previous 2 generations, and we had a lot of rapid growth in the last 2 generations because we got the internet, and the internet it was a global revolution. That shit changed everything everywhere. It made things a lot better for places that had the best access to it. It made things a lot worse for places where people didn't have the access to it. And now the internet is a tool used on a daily basis by almost everybody who has access to it. Motherfuckers use the internet every fucking day. And now, and it's actually less than 2 generations, because the internet has only been out for about 25 years. So 1 generation into it, even the older generations who lived most of their life without the internet couldn't imagine not having it. They probably could, but they wouldn't realize, like, oh, it does make everything a lot easier. It really does. You know, and why would we want to go back to snail mail, where you really got to write letters and get envelopes and stamp and go to the post office, and you know it can get there in like 2 or 3 days, or you know, calling long distance or whatever. So nobody wants to go back to that shit. The internet has greatly improved our lives and our ability to communicate and transmit information. And people see all of the same benefits from AI and robotics, that it's going to make labor so much easier. Why would you go back to doing it the other way? Who wants to do it that way? Nobody. And so I think there's definitely going to be this rapid and continuous change in the workplace, in the job market, until the labor force is mostly robots. The labor force will be dominated by robots. I mean, in all major manufacturing industries right now, robots already do the bulk of the heavy lifting. If you look at a modern automotive plant, people aren't in there lifting chassis and lifting engines and, you know, using handheld welders and all that shit. All that heavy lifting is done by the robots already for major industry. There aren't any artisans who, like, let's say Bentley or Lamborghini, where things are still handcrafted for the most part. Like, nah, that shit is, and that's why they cost so much, because it is still handcrafted. Everything else, man, that shit already mostly made by robots. And so if we can make the robots better, we can make a higher productivity, we can make more profits. So get the people out of here and bring in the robots, because we're trying to make more money. And that's why I'm happy I work in human services. But they're going to have AI counselors and all that shit. I think there's already like some AI counseling bots out there. That was the demo of how good it could serve McDonald's to you? Yeah, because it can run the register and expedite and fix your drinks all by itself. I just seen an invasion. My homie sent me this video. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it looks weird. It kind of looks staged. I don't know if it's like a Welcome to America. Welcome to America, bro. What do you think them the ones who couldn't fit in the truck? There wasn't enough room for everybody. So the ones who walked off, where they about to go? Where they gonna sleep that night? You just got off this boat. Ran across the beach. Your shoes and socks wet and full of sand. Ain't no telling how long you been on the boat and where your last meal was at. How much English do you speak or understand? So where you gonna sleep at that night? Where you gonna get some food from? You gonna have to steal some shit or rob? Or you gonna have to find somebody who speak your language and ask for some shit? That's right here in good old America. Motherfucker just shit, fuck it. Pull up on the beach in the boat. Well, what we do when we get to the beach? I'm gonna have a car waiting for you. A car. Bitch, they 27 of us. We need more than a car. First come, first serve, motherfucker. Whoever going first, man. Come, let's go. Oh, long brush. That'd be alright though. He said robots would never lie or spit in your or get mad or spit in your food. I'm just saying, man. What if I always want to have, that adrenaline rush when I sip my soda, not knowing if it has spit in it or not? Some people can live on the edge like that. I just called that cashier some crazy ass names because that bitch look at me funny. I wonder if she spit in my drink. Bitch, you better not spit in my drink. Where the excitement at? Uber just eat robots. Cool. Okay.
Go back, and then you literally push forward to move deeper into a menu. So this is like a 3D UI you have to learn. This is obviously very brand new for people, but I think to be fair, it is pretty intuitive. I think if you get a quick 60-second lesson, you kind of already have learned all the things you need. When you first connect the booster to the pin, you can unlock it, and unlocking it with my pin is like this move your hand through space to select the numbers thing. It's literally like moving back and forth through a Rolodex of real numbers. So it's one of those like borderline magic things where the first time you see it, you kind of just get it and it clicks, even if it is a little fidgety and a little bit inaccurate and kind of slow. But that gets us into the review. So unfortunately, this thing is bad at almost everything it does, basically all the time. Where do I even start? So I guess first of all, okay, it's supposed to just answer questions, right? It can kind of do that sometimes, but
I heard about this product before it launched. I forgot the dude's name, but he was at Google. He was like I think he actually helped make the iPhone, or he was on the team since the first iPhone. and he left Google a while ago. And him I think him and two other guys left Google, plus his wife. I think his wife might have even been at Google, but she's like some smart ass computer scientist too. And he's left Google, and I wanted to start my own company, and I want to create my own device. That's not a phone. It's something. It's a smart device, an AI agent or AI assistant that's not actually a phone. And so I don't know if it was a TED talk or he gave some kind of talk and really kind of tried to do a tech demo and display of like the features and functions of this thing. And that was last year. That was the middle of last year. And I actually watched it twice because it did seem really cool at the time. But, did they have a lot of pre-programmed, pre-prompted stuff in there? Yeah. And so when my man's right here gets his hand on this shit and he actually plays with it in real time, he's like, nah. Bro, you left Google and started your own company to make this piece of shit? And even like at the very first part of this clip, he was like, bro, this is possibly the worst review I've ever had to give on a piece of tech. And this guy has been doing reviews for years. Years, man. He has 18 million subscribers. He was like, though, this is probably the worst review I have to give. And it's a shame, because when the guy was doing the demo on it, it seemed like a cool device at the time, but...
One, it's often slow, because most of these requests go to the cloud and come back, and there's just a long wait. And two, it's often wrong, because AI still can hallucinate, and there are still issues with it just not understanding correctly or just saying the wrong thing. And that's not even mentioning server timeouts if you have a poor internet connection, which happens to me all the time in this studio. So when they do most of the demos, like on their websites and in their videos, they'll ask a question and then they'll let go and keep talking to fill the silence, so it's not awkward as you wait for an answer and realize how long it is. But even on this fast studio Wi-Fi here, who designed the Washington Monument?
Finding designer. The Washington Monument was designed by Robert Mills, a prominent 19th century American architect from South Carolina. The construction was eventually completed by Thomas.
So you can just hold your hand up to put your answer on your hand and interrupt that it's talking so much, but even that was like a pretty good performance for the AI pin in ideal fast Wi-Fi conditions. But there are many, many times when I feel like it's way slower, and it seems like it goes to the internet for almost everything. I mean, there's a few queries I guess might be local, like, what time is it?
11:42 a.m.
Like, that's pretty fast. The battery life, you can tell me that pretty fast, but it feels like basically everything else is just shoveling it off to the cloud, not computing on the device, and it takes a while. But it's also just wrong all the time. Like, I remember asking it days before the solar eclipse when the next eclipse was, and it said 2044. I asked it, what's some good Asian food in the area? And over again, it thought I said, what's the best ash for some reason? When is the next Nets game?
Finding next Nets game. The next Brooklyn Nets game is on Sunday, April 14th, but no specific opponent or location is provided.
I just Googled it. It says it's the 76ers, so that's kind of weird. What's the traffic to the Empire State Building from here?
Finding directions. Use the voice command feature of AI Pin to ask for traffic information to the Empire State Building, and it will provide you with the details you need.
I did? This stuff happens all the time. But then, speaking of battery life, really bad. and inconsistent, which is annoying. So it's already kind of bad enough that you have another device that you also have to charge every single day. But with this, it's actually more than that. You have to constantly babysit the battery and swap out boosters and charge this thing and keep it charged multiple times per day. So like I said before, you get 2 of these things that come with it, and I've had a pin nuke through the entire booster battery in 2 hours while not really doing much of anything. I've also had it last like 4 hours while doing a whole bunch of photos and videos and requests and laser stuff, and it's also just like constantly warm the whole time. just all the time, which is a little bit concerning. I'll also say multiple times in various situations, I've had it just overheat for seemingly no reason and tell me to wait a while for it to cool down. I think the heat problem is also amplified because of the gap created by whatever fabric is between the booster and the product that it is actively inductively charging. You know, it is a lot of very impressive engineering, but wireless charging is notoriously inefficient and loses energy via heat, and that's what's happening in here all the time. So just the fact that it's warm, just this warm puck on my chest all day, was just enough to never quite forget that I'm wearing it. Well, that and the weight. Look, it's well made. Like I said, it's really impressive hardware, but it's just a little, I mean, you see that little sag? It's just a little too heavy. In the same way that Vision Pro is just a bit too heavy, when you're wearing the thing, you just want to make it as light as possible. That's why a lot of this stuff is made of plastic. So when you decide to go aluminum instead, yeah, it's just a little too heavy. I feel like Humane in a lot of their videos, they've got all these thick fabrics and like heavy jackets, so it doesn't really pull down and sag nearly as much. But if you wear some lighter weight materials like I do, especially when it gets warm outside, this is really going to start to be noticed. And yes, there are some optional accessories that are lighter weight, but you never quite forget about it. This pin cannot set a timer. This pin cannot set an alarm. This notification light they put up at the corner here, it's there and it works, but it is basically out of my peripheral, my field of view, so I almost never see it. And, you know, they also chose this corner for the light, which means it's designed to be worn on this half of the body, which is fine, and you get used to it there, but that's also exactly where most seatbelts go in the US anyway, so not their fault, just another annoying thing about using it. The photos look pretty bad, and the videos look even worse. They're squarish in aspect ratio, very noisy, and they max out at 15 seconds. The hub that everything syncs with, for me, just randomly stops working, and I have to refresh it to get it to work again. The projector, as impressive as a technical achievement as it is, it's just not very readable. It's not particularly bright outdoors, and it gets dimmer the further from your hand it is because of physics. And unless I knew what those words were saying, I really can't read very much. And there are no apps. There just are no apps. So when you first sign up with your Humane account, you get to sync with 4 accounts. There are your Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Tidal. So the first 3 are basically for your contacts, and then the last one, Tidal, is the exclusive music partner. So there's no Uber access. There is no Spotify access. There's no WhatsApp. There's no calendar, no Gmail, none of that stuff. It's just, it doesn't have, I can't book a flight. I can't buy something on Amazon. It just will not do any of that stuff that I just do on my phone. So I know I've said like a bunch of the downsides and the problems this device has, but I really genuinely think the biggest problem this pin is going to have is that smartphones are kind of OP. Like, that's the number one thing I've reminded myself from the week of using this pin, trying to get it to do stuff, is that smartphones are not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think a lot of the comments online have already picked up on this, even without testing and using the pin, which is, okay, there seems like a lot of overlap between what this is and what a smartphone can do. But everything that this pin does, a modern smartphone does better and faster and easier and in higher quality and just better in every way. Like, your smartphone obviously takes better pictures and videos, and you can frame things more easily. Of course, a phone can call and text people more easily. You can use it in more places, loud places, private places, use it with literally any outfit. Also, a phone, like, you can quickly Google things, it's faster to message people back, and of course, it can email people and use all kinds of app experiences. Do you know what happens when you try to just send someone a picture from the AI pin? You already know how to do it on your phone. With the AI pin, okay, you take the picture, then you either try this with your voice, or you pull up the picture, which is just a green 720p JPEG on your hand. I guess that's a good enough preview, sure. You go to send it, you pick your contact, or type in the whole phone number with the gestures. Eventually you go to send, and it has its own internet connection, and it sends a link to view the picture in the Humane web portal. Like the difference in how easy, how frictionless that is here versus here, it's not even close. And there are honestly many times where I'd be trusting this pin. Like I'm reviewing it, I'm living that life, I'm using it, and I'd ask it something, and I would wait so long, and my phone would just be sitting right there where I could just pick it up and Google the answer in the time it takes me to get hopefully the right answer on the pin. It's just, phones are OP. Look and tell me what this is. Or I'll just do this, I guess. Ah. It's a Cybertruck.
The photo is of a Cybertruck, an electric pickup truck produced by Tesla.
Yep. Also, I gotta say, when I say phones are OP, like screens in your hand, so sick. Just for the last like 10% of any UI, like you can get almost all the way there with just your voice interaction, but let's say you call an Uber and you say, take me to the studio from an Uber, even if it could do that, which it can't, but let's say it could. And as you're waiting, you're like, I'm gonna just go grab a snack from this Starbucks on the corner. How do you adjust your pickup location with this? Just that friction of I could just do it in 2 seconds on my phone. Or buying something online is another one. I've seen a lot of demos where someone's like, plan me a trip to Europe, plan me an expedition. I don't even want to buy detergent online on this because I need to check all the ratings and the titles and make sure I'm ordering the right one. I do not trust that with just my voice. But I think most critically, for the AI assistant part, I actually love the idea of a virtual assistant that you can talk to like a human. Like this is something we've been chasing for years with Google Assistant and Siri and Alexa. And now with this new form factor of, a little AI in a box that can be with you everywhere, maybe that can deliver even better on that specific promise. But the thing about a good assistant is it needs to know everything about you. That's even true with a human assistant. Like it needs to know your schedule, it needs to know where you go every day, it needs to know who you talk to, what your preferences are personally and for products. Like it needs to know everything about you. And your smartphone already knows a lot of things about you. But this is a standalone device that doesn't talk to your phone, and so it doesn't know any of the things about you that your phone knows. So just from that, it's already at such a massive disadvantage for the smartphone for being helpful. I mean, you can do what I did, fully immerse yourself for several days straight and tell it to remember everything and call people, text people from it, but it will always have that gap. And that's not even mentioning this, like I said, it has its own phone number, and so if you text people and call people from this, yeah, it can summarize all of your messages from the day and all that stuff from these conversations, but it doesn't see any of these conversations. So if you're texting here, this is not the same thread. That gap is always going to be there. So I guess that begs the question, why didn't they just make this connect to your phone? Everyone has a phone. That's the question that I think a lot of people are wondering. And I think, this is my theory, but I think Humane wants this thing to eventually be a very powerful standalone device someday. And in order to get it to that future, they can't set the precedent now of connecting it to your phone, because then that means they have to remove that feature in the future, and they don't want to do that. So this device, as it exists today, is hamstrung by its ideal future version of itself. It's like Vision Pro. Like I talked about it in the Vision Pro review. It doesn't actually pair to your iPhone in any way. It's its own standalone computer, and of course Apple sees down the road that could just be like a little pair of smart glasses. You don't need an iPhone to use that. But now, today, this thing is a victim of its future ambition. It was really hard to come up with a title for this video, but I will say at one point my working title for this was, this product is either the dumbest thing ever or I'm an idiot. Because yes, it's really, 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 really bad now, but every once in a while, and I mean a while, I would use it and it would do exactly what it's supposed to do quickly, and I'd get it. And I'd really feel like that's how it's supposed to feel. and then I do another request, and it would remind me of reality. But here's an example, right? I've said 1,000 times, like, my best ideas, golden rule, they always show up when I can't write them down. Like when I'm about to fall asleep, or I'm in the shower, or driving, right? So I'm using the pin, I'm driving to the studio, and I have an idea. I'm not trying to write it down on my phone while driving or pull over, but I have the pin, so I'm driving, and I just remind me of this cool ABC outro idea for the Humane Review. And I just kept driving, and it wrote it down, and it saved it. And when I go check the Humane...
Outro idea for the Humane Review has been saved.
Well, this is kind of annoying. But now that's up in the Humane AI Center, so when I arrive at the studio, that thing that I told it to remember is sitting there waiting for me. That was nice. Or the other thing, the unique first-person videos. I could put it in the center of my chest and take videos. I would never want to distract myself while driving, taking a video, but you know, even though the quality is not great, that's the most frictionless version of that, along with smart glasses. That's great. And I think number one on top of all of this is, if you ask me, like, who should buy this device right now? I mean, nobody should buy this device right now, but if there's one person who would most consider it, it's the person that wants to spend as little time as possible with a screen in their hands. Like, as little time as possible on their phone. That's me sometimes. I don't want to doom scroll the second I pull my phone out of my pocket. For that person, if they want that at the expense of everything else, this device represents just a glimmer of hope for that future. Now, the problem, of course, is with this device, there's just so much more friction and fumbling and annoyance that comes with it that you don't want to do it, even though you would accomplish the goal of less screen time and living in the moment. But yeah, that's the issue with it. I literally had a moment, like, we did a shoot in Ohio the other day, which was like a travel day, and I woke up in the morning and I thought, like, I don't want to deal with this pin today. Like, I have driving, so the seatbelt's going to be annoying, and then we're going to go to the airport, and then probably got to take it off through the metal detector and then put it on again, which means I have to log in with the pin again, and just all this, and I just was like, I don't want to have to charge this 7 times. Like, I don't want to wear it today. So I skipped it. And you should probably skip this product too. And never buy a product based on the future promise of updates to it. Obviously, this is a product that has a long way to go, and there's a team behind it. And look, I gotta say, as a brand new product and a team trying to make something new, that I respect. I respect the attempt, because we don't get a lot of totally new stuff. But yeah, this is a long way to go. They do have a roadmap, actually, I'll say. They've shared it. There's some decent stuff on there, including number sharing, but that also has no date and no other information. So I'll just say, good luck. Godspeed. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.
Meet Asana, a work management platform that helps companies get more done and save more time. Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize timelines. Asana, a smarter way to work. Try it for free today at Asana.
This second layer of detailing on the jacket is coming along swimmingly. Just trying to get some of the bigger folds in there, and we'll come back and do more highlights. It's not looking too bad. I feel like I use way more brushes than I needed to, but it'd be like that sometimes. Alright. Where we at? The hour and 42? Almost a little bit more than an hour and a half. It's all good. So I feel like I painted for about a strong hour. That's all I can ask for, man. You know what I'm saying? The evenings, give myself a little hour here and there, you know? I don't see why more people don't do that, man. You got, hey, for your creativity, for your stress levels, and for your mental health, for your self-care, you gotta give yourself at least an hour every day, if you can, if it's possible. Some days is all gold, nigga. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you be lucky to get good sleep some nights. But on the days when it's just normal days, hey, give yourself some time to be creative and do something nice and try to make something pretty for the world. That's how I look at it. That's my philosophy. Sometimes you don't be having that hour. That means on other days you just gotta double up. Give yourself 2 hours. Make up for that other day where you was running from the time you woke up to the time you went to bed. I ain't eat shit all day. I ain't goddamn drink all my water. All I did was work. Yeah, and fuss. Why I had so many brushes dirty? Oh, shit, right there. That let me know. It's time for me to get my ass up out of here, bro. You about to run me to death in the damn studio, so I'm in here falling asleep, falling all over the canvases and dropping brushes on the floor. Hell nah, you never catch me out there like that, partner. Never catch me out there. Is this nigga yarning? Yeah, it's time to get up out of here, man. Let me not fall asleep in the studio. I ain't trying to do that. But I also need to make sure I got everything turned up. Let's see here. I want to plug this in here. Turn this off. Alright, I like it. It's coming out nice. Just gotta keep it going. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm about to go downstairs, get me something to eat, and get on some video games for the rest of the night. That's all I do, man. I work, I paint, and then I play video games. It sounds boring the most, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't ask for anything better. If y'all still want to chill with me later on, I'll stream some video games. But if not, I'll catch y'all in the next stream. I hope everybody have a wonderful evening. The weather's starting to break. It's still pretty outside. So enjoy. Peace. I don't know where my control at. Let's see it. Alright, I'm out of here.